Greetings, friends, minions, and fellow gamers. This is Silverblade, and today is May 19th, 2025, and it's officially 10 years since I started my channel. And so I'm just going to talk a little bit about it and what's happened since I last made videos and what's planning to go on for the future. So, 10 years ago, I was watching Midnight Designer, Games for Kicks, Rongo the Bold, Zeo Kills Zeds, and Endems, which was then the Broken Ankle crew. And they were playing and having a lot of fun. Now, at that time, and still to this day, I don't like PvP games. And so any game that was around at the time was largely PvP. So it just kind of was completely out of the question to me. But watching the videos from Midnight Designer and Games for Kicks and those guys, and together as a collab, they actually made me want to play collaboratively with people online and make videos of it. And that was the biggest thing, was for me, just to have fun, make videos of it. So they were the ones that inspired me. And it was on this day, 10 years ago, that I made my first video. And I made it on a laptop that I had salvaged from somebody. They couldn't get it to work. I put in a new hard drive. The keyboard was messed up, so I hooked up a USB keyboard to it. Really janky piece of shit. Basically, I was getting at peak 15 frames per second playing 7 Days to Die. And that was the game I was playing. But I made videos of it anyway and got the ball rolling. Now, there was somebody that was like my first subscriber. Unfortunately, I can't remember his name. He only appeared once. I only talked to him once. And that was it. Never saw him again. And he probably unsubscribed at the time. So, is what it is. But I know one of the very first subscribers to my channel that was consistently replying to me, watching my videos, and talking with me was Shirley Grandma Curry. And I take a lot of pride in being able to know Shirley before she got famous. In fact, she's kind of famous. I mean, a little bit, really little bit of her becoming a YouTuber, becoming famous, very little bit was due to me. Now, I don't like to sponge credit or clout or any of that stuff from anybody, but I do distinctly remember in the comment section of a couple of my videos where she had stated that she sounded too much like a little girl and she didn't know if she wanted to make videos. And I know other YouTubers at the time, which was mainly Midnight Designer. I can't remember the other guys that she was following that she also got inspired by, but a lot of us were telling her, go ahead and make videos. But she said to me, I sound too much like a little girl. I'm like, well, just do it anyway. Not because of what people say, but because you enjoy it. And took a little bit of convincing, just a little bit, and she made her first video. Now, she started with only 300 subscribers. I had at that time about 15, 20. So I'm a nobody, but she was following me, and I gave her that advice, and she took it. And then overnight, she got 30,000 subscribers, from 300 to 30,000. And so I kind of take some pride in being part of her accomplishment, because all I did was give her a little bit of encouragement, but she did the video, she did the game, and she continued to play it and make videos of it. So that's my association with that. And every time it comes up where I say, hey, yeah, I had a little hand in Grandma Shirley's success, it kind of sounds like, an ego thing or clout chasing thing or something. No, it's just statement of fact. I did have that much help in getting her started, and others did it as well, just to encourage her. So that was pretty much the first part of the year, of year one. And basically, after that, I was commenting on Midnight Designer's videos and, of course, Games for Kicks and the other guys. And I think it was Midnight's one of his first live streams. And in the chat was Haladmer. And one thing led to another, where he got in contact with me, and we decided to do a collaboration. So we did a collaboration. And since then, he's become a good friend of mine. I don't talk to him all that often, at least now, that is. But before, I talked to him all the time, and we played together, and we did a season of 7 Days to Die multiplayer, and we had a lot of fun. Now, back then, I won't say that I overdid things, because I was quite giddy about stuff, and life has a way of kicking you in the ass, and that's why I punched my head. But anyways, it has a way of kicking you, and but yeah, back then I was really excited, raring to go, and I drank too much Mountain Dew. But we made some videos together and had a great deal of fun. And then we got into the second season of the collab, and that's when I believe that was when we added Sharky and Grandma Shirley. And again, that's one of my other proudest achievements, is being able to play. It's one thing to have her as a subscriber and to talk to her, and then she blew up and became famous. But it's another thing to be able to play with someone like that. So she was my first subscriber that I consistently talked to, and my first subscriber that I actually played with. And I consider that a high honor. So we did that, and it got to be where the schedule and the time was that we were recording was late at night, and she couldn't handle staying up that late, so she had to eventually back out. And so Haladmer and Sharky and I continued making collaborated videos, and that was a lot of fun. And gradually, we played with S'more, and we played with a Drayden, and the two fun guys. Their personalities are interesting, and sometimes we might have had a little bit of friction, but I think that the world of those two guys, and even though I don't talk to them much anymore, I don't talk much to anybody anymore, but it was pretty cool. But talking to Grandma Shirley was my first real big achievement, but what really set it off was when I got to play with Midnight Designer. Pardon me a minute. So, Midnight Designer, he was a hell of a guy. He's not one of those guys that has to cuss every single word, and that impressed me. He was also a very he had that tongue-in-cheek humor. Gotta have that. But he would also reply to every single one of my comments to his videos. And so I kind of saw him like he was PewDiePie, and I'm not. And being able to talk to PewDiePie, and actually PewDiePie would interact with me. That's kind of the scale of how things were with Midnight Designer to me. he only had just a couple thousand, 1 or 2 thousand, I think, subscribers at the time. But yeah, to get that interaction, that meant the world to me. Flat out meant the world to me. And then to be able to play with him, that was cool. But that actually wasn't the first collab in the Broken Ankle crew that I did. I think I played with S'more and Rongo the Bold. Haladmer pulled me over and had me join up with these other guys who were, I guess they were celebrating S'more's first 1,000, something like that. So I was in that stream, I think it was. 10 years, my mind's already fricasseed. Actually, it might have been in the 9th year, or 9 years back. Anyway, so I played with Rongo, I played with S'more, I played with, kind of played with Games for Kicks on his 7 Days to Die server. He may have been on at the time too, but I haven't really played with him as much as I would have liked. But yeah, to get to play with Midnight Designer was really cool, and I almost fanboyed out to that, because it's like, hey, I finally, I've had a channel for a year now, and he's watching my stuff. I mean, he left comments, and also I've seen a picture up over his fireplace of his TV, and his TV was playing one of my videos. And that got me right in the feels. That was cool. So anyways, a lot of stuff's gone on over the years. I got one paycheck from Google for my videos, measly $100. But I was in the partnership program at the time, and that was working out gradually. But then they canceled it on me, and my views were going up. I got up to, I think it was 28 subscribers by the time I first collabed with Hal, and it went all the way up to like 300 or 400. This is how much numbers don't really matter to me. They're just like goalposts, whereas people are like, gotta push the numbers. And it's like, anyways, yeah, because of Hal, my channel was starting to build and do better, and that was a lot of fun. That was a good time too, because towards the end of the first year, I was living in town by myself, and I had that laptop, and that was crap. And it came to be about December of 2015 that I had to move back home. And when I did, I had saved up some money, and I built from scratch my own first computer with what I've been saving, my first modern computer, because everything else up to then was salvaged, was old computers people didn't want, threw out. Parts, some of the parts may have been new, some of the parts may have been secondhand. But yeah, I got myself a full brand new computer, perfect for gaming and streaming in 2015 years, time frame. And that was the start of things getting better and better. And that was an interesting time, moving back home and all the chaos that was it was here already, and then the chaos is here now. But yeah, then it got to be where I didn't actually meet her, but Pamela Goodman and her husband Leo. Now, unbeknownst to me, from what I recall the story, Pam was going through some rough health issues, and she came across my videos at some point. I don't know how, but yeah, she came across my videos, and it got her to laugh at points when she really needed it. And after that, she adopted me. Her and Leo, they adopted me and made me their online kid, I guess. And they gave me a microphone, a Blue Yeti microphone, and it started to turn where, okay, things are making my production quality a bit better. You know, my computer's getting better, my sound is getting better, and I'm just thinking, yeah, I could actually make a living off of this. At least that was the hope at the time. No. um, because even though I had a better computer and a better sound and stuff like that, it's like the views weren't doing so good. And of course, this is at the point when Let's Play videos were pretty much dying. Or at least that's the start of the fall. You know, when it just started to not be a popular genre. But I still wanted to do it because I wasn't in it for the money. I mean, the money was nice, but for me, it was, you know, making the videos, making friends through the comments, making friends through the other creators in the community, and if money came my way, great. You know, it would have been nice to make a job, but if I was going to do it and my rent was due, you know, well, rent, mortgage, what have you, um, I couldn't do what I've seen some creators do and be like, you know, push, 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 push to get the numbers, push, push, push to get the advertisement revenue. No, I couldn't do that. It'd be nice if it happened to where I didn't have to push and I got just what I needed. But but with Pam and Leo, uh, they were giving me money. They were giving me used parts at first, and then they got me brand new parts, a whole new computer at one point, and then and that was great. And then they got me a brand new computer and like top of the line shit. I'm still using it right now, and it's like, well, shit. They're kind of investing in me, and I have to admit, I haven't exactly been. I don't know. If someone gave you stuff, you would be appreciative. Now, I'm not saying I'm not appreciative. I really, really am. But there's a point where you can go overboard with appreciation. And then there's a point where it's like you just abandoning these people. And I feel like I'm caught in the middle where it's like I really do appreciate everything that Pam and Leo has given me. But over the past couple of years since my dad died, I haven't really talked to her that much. She's given me some more stuff since then, you know, money and cards and stuff like that, and I am grateful for it. But at the same time, it's like I'm not making videos. I'm not really earning this stuff. It's just outpouring of charity, I guess. It makes me feel a little uncomfortable because while I'm grateful, it's like, what did I do to deserve it? What did I do to earn it? And I ain't doing anything to earn it. I'm tied up in um, helping my mom out, and she's getting a lot worse. And outside of my sister helping me, everything at this house is on me. And that's quite a lot of stuff, you know. So I'm just tired, and a little burned out. And to get things from Pamela or other people, but mostly Pam, it's like I can't show the proper amount of gratitude and for her generosity. And she's been more than generous, more than I deserve. That's for certain. And I feel guilty. You know, I don't know. It's kind of an odd thing. You know, I don't have problems talking with her or anything, but it just makes me feel like an asshole, and I don't like that. So Pamela, if you're watching, which I kind of know you are, I apologize to you profusely for not staying in contact with you like I should. You know, it's frustrating to me really because I don't. I was raised to not show gratitude, not to be appreciative of things that you're provided with, and it seems I feel like I haven't shown that appropriately to you, and so I apologize for that. It puts me in a weird spot right now. I'm in a weird headspace as it is, but we'll just get back to what we were talking about. So, in the past 10 years, I got my start, I got my build up, I got the equipment to make things much better, and then around the time that my dad died, it was shortly before my dad died actually, I was burned out. I liked playing the games, but sometimes I just wasn't feeling the game. And with 7 Days to Die, you can only play that game really a couple years. I played it for like 6 or 7, and I was tired of it. And then to try to keep an atmosphere of energy, going behind it that isn't put on, but also just kind of keeps it light, keeps it fun and exciting. I was losing it. Things started getting worse around here, and then when Dad got COVID, it really took a really hard turn on me. And then when Dad died in December 2021, it's like, okay, your world just got turned upside down. You got to take care of a then 79-year-old elderly woman, and then take care of a brother who is barely doing anything. He still barely does anything. Well, almost absolutely nothing. And excuse me. And so, I had to do that alone. I mean, Mom helped as best she could, but still, I had bills to pay, repairs to make, maintenance to keep up, getting paperwork, all kinds of crap for that. The bureaucracy of government, like with FEMA, for COVID funeral assistance. That was a fucking nightmare. But I got it. But it took a year to do it. And, it's just, I didn't have time really for games. I mean, I played games when I had free time, which was usually late at night. And I didn't and I don't feel like recording it. Because the magic's gone, I guess you could say. I don't have the same attitude as I did 5 years ago. And I had to deal with that. And then my sister and her 2 autistic boys, they're nonverbal autistic, so that makes it even more challenging. She decided to go back and live with her husband. And that guy is a piece of work. In fact, in this last year, they were fighting. They were on and off type things for a while, and then finally, my sister just said enough and moved back home, and pretty much full time. Before, her husband would be in rehab for up to 30 days or so. And so she would be living in his apartment so that the boys could have free run and all this. And they were close to the school. And then when he was getting out of rehab, she would move back home. So it was kind of on and off again because her husband has a tendency of living at home or at a place considered home. He'd be there for no more than 2 or 3 days. Then he'd relapse and go right back in. In fact, last year, my sister's husband was in rehab more days and more rehabs than he's been home. In fact, I've been over to his apartment and spent more time in his apartment than he did. And when I say going to his apartment, I'd pick up the kids and go to rehab or therapy with them and then drop them off. But also I had to move my sister's furniture out, and then this last time I had to move his stuff out. Or else, because he wasn't coming back to the place. They were completely out. And we still got his crap in our garage right now. But he spent more time in rehab than home. I spent more hours in his place than he did. And now that my sister's here at home, she don't have to worry about it no more. And she's helping me with Mom. I'm helping her with her boys. And it works out so well. My sister and I used to not speak because of the guy that she married. I knew he was trouble from the start, and she just had to learn it for herself. And so I didn't speak to her for 7 years or something like that. And then she moves home. She escapes from Florida to come back home. Escapes him. And we started talking again. So now we're like that. We speak the same thing at the same time. We know what the other's thinking. It's like someone had cloned me or cloned her to make me. One way or the other, we're like the same mind. And so we're working pretty good here on taking care of Mom, taking care of the house. I do most of the stuff anyway, but if I need help, I know that I can trust her and rely on her. And so all of this stuff that I've been talking about for a little bit here all plays into my YouTube career. Because there's so much stuff to do, there's no career for me in it. I still want to make videos. I promised to make videos after my last live stream, which was 2 years ago. I hate saying I'm going to do something and not doing it. And I hate the fact that I haven't been able to make a video since then. Partly because I'm busy, too busy. But also, I don't really have the same drive for it anymore. I just need a real fire lit under my ass for that. And yeah, I'm playing games, but they're not games that be any fun to watch. And I play games just to unwind, get things off my mind. So anyways, there's so much in 10 years to try to factor in. It's stupid, but I enjoyed it, and I kind of want that enjoyment back. I want that spark, but with Mom declining like she is, and all the things I have to do to try to keep her from croaking, try to keep this place from falling into a rubble pile, keep my brother from getting in the way, and helping my sister with the kids, and it's a lot. It's just too much, almost. And my health is going bad. When I had the stroke at the very, very end of 2017, I was like, okay, I got a stroke. And then afterwards, recovered. It's fine. It hasn't been until the last 2, almost 3 years that it's really put its little mark on me. Because right now my heart is gone downhill. I mean, I can walk up this hill over here. It's not a very big hill, but it's kind of steep. I can come up this hill and up to the road with a dumpster for the trash, and just walking it, not hard, I get winded, and sometimes I get lightheaded. If it's a hot day out, I could barely breathe. It's like, mugginess and the heat, it's oppressive. I'm turned into a weenie. But anyways, I'm going downhill physically, mentally, and I really haven't had much of an emotional outlet for shit, because I'm not really an emotional person. I'm more of a logic-minded person, but I'm tired every which way you go about it, and that's just not fun to watch for a YouTube video. I wouldn't want to watch me making my. Well, I don't really like watching my videos as it is, but I wouldn't want to watch me, and I can imagine other people wouldn't either. But there's just a whole lot of reasons not to make videos. But at the same time, a little bit of me wants to do something. Now, I don't know if it'll be video games, because commenting over them, there's only so many times you could say certain things like "explodey head" and that kind of stuff, where until it gets tired, and other people say the same, similar things, and it's whatever. But I'm thinking, since I've had a cat video now, right after I got out of the hospital, now I'm making a car video, another trope of YouTubers. What other things is there to do? I think if I was going to make some videos, I wouldn't do like reaction videos. I've been thinking about it for quite some time, actually, about doing quasi-reactive videos. Kind of like, I know the songs already. That I'm not going to be one of those guys that pretends they know the song, or doesn't know the song when they know the song. But kind of like, analyzing music. And I know there's other YouTubers that do it. But songs that I like, things that actually hit me in here, but also in a smarter way. Like, I don't want to be this, ooh, this line really blew me away, or anything like that, or, whatever nonsense you see on reaction channels with music and stuff. I'd be like, okay, this is why I like this part of this song. This is an element, what it brings out in me, and what type of thing. So I've been thinking about that. I haven't committed to doing it yet. I don't want to commit to it yet, but I have some ideas. I know a lot about reaction channels, how difficult it can be, and I can go at my own pace, but that pace will change things for me, and that's really what it's about. Always been about is fun for me, and then making it fun for you at the same time. So no, I'm not going to be, not yet, I haven't committed to it, to being a reaction channel. It's not out of the question, though, but it's a matter of reviews for the most part, but with another bit of a twist. I don't want to say anything yet, because I really haven't seen anything like it on YouTube quite yet, and I don't even think it's a big deal, but it should be fun and be interesting at the very least, because I'll just leave it at that, because I'm running long on this video anyways. But I am proud to have been able to keep my channel going as long as I did. Outside the circumstances, and then inside circumstances, kind of dictated, this probably isn't the way you need to go if you want to make it big or anything like that. And that's the thing. Hal once told me that he thought that I had the potential to make it big. And I thought he was over flattering me. I mean, he kind of was. But he was very genuine and generous in saying so. And, oh well. It's meant, it is what it is, and that's the way it's supposed to be. So one last thing that I want to talk about. I've been thinking about this since it happened. But on February 17th, I think it was, Midnight Designer passed away. Unexpectedly at that. And, the thing is he was a big inspiration for me to start my channel. And I started my channel, and it did good for other people. It did good for Grandma Shirley. It did good for Pam and her husband Leo. It may have helped other people in ways that I don't even know about, that's one of the cool things I love about YouTube. And I can only imagine that there's other people that Midnight had inspired, that also did videos or did something that led them to helping other people. The trickle-down effect. And I can't say how saddened I was. It was like someone really kicked me right in the chest when I found out that he had passed away. And he's only just a handful of years older than me. I'm 49. And he was like 54 or 56, something like that. And I'm probably not destined to live that long either, with my heart, being the way it is. But But he left a hell of a legacy. You know, he's got a daughter and a son, and in a way, I watched them grow up. I looked at the way that Midnight looked at his wife, and how he just lit up as soon as he sees her, especially when he was on camera. And that's part of the measure of a man, is how his family makes him light up, but also how he lights up his family, his wife, his kids. And I remember one video that he made. It was a vlog video, so it wasn't on his main page. He had mentioned me because I hadn't seen him online in a while, and I was worried about him, and kept sending him direct messages on Twitter, and he'd not reply. And a couple weeks, couple months, whatever it was, later, I would try to kick it back up again and bring it back up on his feed, and he couldn't bring himself to answer. You know, that's fine. But he mentioned it in the video, and you know, it's like, he was my friend, and the fact that he's gone so unexpectedly, you know, if he was suffering, if he was, you know, sick for a long time, you kind of expect that, you know, to hit right out of the blue. And he's still quite young, so that it's like, man, I feel bad for his wife, and I believe her name's Kim, and their 2 kids. But I don't know. I've said a lot about it on Discord, and I tried reaching out to. The only one I could find was Midnight's daughter, and I sent a message out to her offering support, and you know, she just wants to talk, because when I lost my dad, you know, it was rough. It still is. And you know, the grieving process I haven't really had. I've been too busy to grieve. But keeping everything together for the whole of the family, you know, my mom keeping it together for my sister, even my brother, and just kind of offering my insight, you know, how long it's taken, what to expect. Like, you know, you expect to see him in the chair that he used to sit in all the time, or you know, you hear the TV off in the distance, and you know, oh yeah, Dad's in there, and you expect to go around the corner and be there. Or all the little quirks, you kind of expect to see them there. You hear it in another person's voice. I hear it from my sister. My mom calls me by my dad's name sometimes. Calls me Dad, because I sound, there's certain mannerisms I have that sound like him, and that's an honor, because I loved him. I idolized my dad. I mean, I love the guy. And I can imagine for Midnight's family that's kind of the thing that they're feeling. You know, I've lost a few people the last couple of years, and one of them was one of my minions. He was a boy that he was like 12, 13 years old when he first came in the comic shop. And so I was kind of like a surrogate big brother to him. And he passed away from juvenile diabetes. He's 28 years old, but at the time I knew him when he was younger. And so I've been talking with his sister and his mom, because they knew me even back then. Because he would talk about me all the time. He put me up on a pedestal. At least that's the way they saw it. And, looking at his mom's posts on Facebook, she's like, is like talking to him as if he's still there in the posts. And, today I saw such and such on your bed today, one of their dogs. And this made me think this and this and that. And then the sister, it's like, she's grieving as well. And she's like, I keep expecting to see him at home. And I keep thinking, well, I can't wait until I tell him this. Oh, he's not coming home. And I felt that with my dad. It's like, I come home, it's like, hey, Dad, So I can imagine for Midnight's family to go through that and how to cope with it. It's rough. It doesn't go away, but it gets easier with time. I've been going through this moment, dude, like crazy. I don't even know if the sound on this is really good, because this is a brand new phone. Well, new as of October last year. But okay, so I'm getting close to being done. Sorry for the length of this. One thing that I can do is, for my channel, if you guys are interested, I got a smart telescope, and then of course this new phone. And one of the things I've been interested in since first grade was astronomy. Not pustronomy, astronomy. In fact, one of the first books I ever picked out for myself in first grade was a book that was in the school library, and this is an elementary school, but somehow there was a college level book about astronomy and astrophysics and stuff like that. Now, it was a heavy read. I didn't understand more than half of it at the time, but that really got me interested in reading. And then a couple of years after that, Halley's Comet made a pass by the sun, and my dad got me a telescope, and so that really kicked things up. And then there was the space shuttles, and then the Challenger disaster. All of that made me really interested in photography. Well, at the time, astro watching. Now it's astro photography. So with this phone, I can take pictures of like when the aurora comes out, and being in Michigan, it's amazing how this last year we've had a lot of aurora in the night sky, on clear night skies. And I got some great pictures. I mean, you couldn't believe they were real because of just how widespread it was, all the colors involved. And it just, when I'm standing there with his phone and just, wow, it blew my mind. And then around Christmas time, I got a smart telescope where I could just plunk it down, aim it, tell it to aim it at something with this phone. It'll aim at something, and then it'll take a picture for 10 seconds, and then it'll take another picture for 10 seconds, and another picture for 10 seconds, and another one, and it just keep 10 seconds exposures over and over until I stop it. And the thing is with more exposures, the picture comes more clear and more detail. And then it takes all those pictures and stacks them, it's called stacking, and puts them all into one picture. And it's a little more complicated than that, but stacks all the pictures into one, and then you get just beautiful views of galaxies and nebula and globular clusters and all those things that are up there in the sky. So what I could do is I could take video, maybe like time-lapse video, put it up on the channel. I did one of the aurora back in October, and I was right here in the backyard actually, and I could put that up on my channel. With the telescope, it mainly just takes pictures. It can take video, but the video isn't always that great. So I could probably, maybe once in a while, depending on the weather, of course, and if I'm busy, but I could make a slideshow of sorts, and it'll show stars, planets. Well, not planets don't work so good with this telescope. The focal distance is a little bit off. But nebula, deep sky objects, deep sky objects, that stuff, just great stuff. In fact, the last object I've been looking at, and I've been taking multiple images over multiple nights, is the Pinwheel Galaxy, which this is to my north, right up in there, near the Big Dipper, the handle of the Big Dipper, or the leg of Ursa Minor, or Major. My brain's fried. But yeah, I could put up astrophotography pictures, slideshows, time-lapse video of aurora as they happen, if they happen. They're hard to predict. I can go on to make, potentially, I mean, it's an option, to make my reaction videos or review videos, that project. There's all kinds of projects I can do. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of health. It's a matter of umptu. I just want to get some content up, and this is the closest I got for my 10-year anniversary. I kind of want to give you guys all a little bit of a botched history of my channel, and then the things that helped influence it, things I've helped people that I've helped influence, and then why I'm not really doing it much anymore, but I still want a little bit to kind of go out and do things with it. You know, I don't want it to be idle, and I don't want to change, push you guys away that are at my channel for watching, for gaming content and stuff, but I can't promise anything anymore. I can't promise I'll do this or say I'm going to do this. Saying it and then promising are two different things, but I take it as the same thing. So if I say, well, I'm going to do this, well, no. It's ideas. Alright, well, we got to be at the end of this video because it looks like it's almost an hour. I just want to make sure that I thank Grandma Shirley, Shirley, Grandma Curry. Thank you for your friendship. If it wasn't for you, my mom wouldn't be interested or even invested to some degree in my channel, and from that, I was able to bond with her. So thank you for that. You didn't even know you were helping me with that, but that's kind of the way it works. You do something, you don't know it helps. And it helps, and it helps, and it helps on down the line. Haladmer, my friend, if it weren't for you, my channel probably wouldn't have gotten off the ground. And I appreciate you a whole lot. Like I said in Steam chat, that I really do appreciate you, and you've been a great friend to me, and I hope I've been remotely good to you in kind. I wish you the best of health and the best of success. Sharky, you rascally little bastard. You've always been like that little brother, that kid brother that, the older brothers are teenagers and they have their, like 7-year-old little brother, little age separation. And, it's like, can I come and play with you guys? Can I do this? Can I do that? It kind of looked at you like you were like that, but really, you're an equal. You're just you're a character, and I love you for it. It's been a lot of fun shooting the shit with you and blowing things up and getting into mischief, but you're a really good guy, and I just want you to know that. S'more, I can't really say much about you, man, because I haven't talked with you in a long time. I don't know what's changed, but I enjoy talking and playing with you. Drayden, same thing, man. Not as close to you as I was with Sharky and Grandma Shirley and Hal, but appreciate you, man. And I wish you and S'more a lot of success. There's so many people to thank. I can't think of them all. I mean, my brain's kind of going blank as it is, but there's a lot of people to thank that are fellow YouTubers. And I just want everybody to know that if you've had any lasting contact with me, I hope you enjoyed it, the time we've shared, and maybe it pushes you to think things in a different way or do things a different way. I don't know. I just hope that you benefited from being in my presence. I know I've benefited from other people's presence, so it goes both ways. Pamela, I thank you so much for everything. And it's not going to be enough. But you've always been very kind to me. And I can't tell you enough how much I appreciated, the little things. Computers are one thing, but the things I really appreciated was the cards that you personally made, the T-shirts that had my name across the chest that you personally made. Those are the things that meant a lot. In the quilts, the one for me and the one for my mom, those mean a lot more to me than the money and the computers and the computer parts, because you put a little bit of yourself into it. And I'm sorry again for not giving an appropriate, at least what I feel is an appropriate amount of gratitude for it. Not fun to think about in that regard. Could have done better. But I love you. And give my love to Leo too. As for the rest of you guys, I'm talking way too much. It's 10 years of shit in here, But anyways, thank you guys for watching. And I hope this gets out to the right people, the messages that I'm trying to get across. And there's a lot going through my head about it that I really don't even know how to process, to be truthful with you. This is kind of an impromptu thing. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. And until next time, see you later. Twitch.